I'm not sure why I thought it was a good idea to start filming before my first coffee. Cheers! So basically, I am coming back to YouTube. I know it's been a while and it's been a tough year with lots of staying inside and nothing going on and just losing a little bit of hope, honestly. But now, going into summer, things are opening up again, at least in Germany and most of Europe, and it just feels so good and I'm so happy about it, and I want to get back to sharing more of my life with you guys. Today I thought I would start by doing a part 2 for my last Q&A, which was all about dating and sex and relationships basically, because I got so many questions back then and I wanted to answer a few more and just sit down and chill with you guys before I get back into doing vlogs. So that's what we're doing today. I like that you guys get to hear my morning voice. Be prepared for me to get more energy throughout this video. Let's get into it. First question, what are your thoughts on non-monogamous / open relationships? I am pretty skeptical when it comes to those, but also extremely fascinated. I think if you're really able to do that with a partner and completely trust each other while doing it, and if two parties are actually happy with that and it's healthy for them, then that's amazing. Because I don't know, I think a lot of people go into monogamy because it's the norm and because it's sort of expected, but I truly think there are some people that aren't made for monogamy, and that is shown time and time again. And that doesn't mean that you can't, or that you shouldn't be able to like build a long-term loving relationship with someone. If you're happy being in an open relationship, I think that's amazing. I mean, I don't think it would be for me, but never say never. I just feel like if I'm in a relationship with someone, then I love them and have romantic feelings for them, and I've never been in a place where I have romantic feelings for someone and could even stand the idea of sharing them with someone else, or them sleeping with someone else or whatever, for even a second. I just couldn't really imagine that happening, but never say never. I think it's wrong to judge anyone's relationship style just because it might be different to yours and different to the norm, as long as people are... Molly, what's up? Molly hates cameras, do we remember that? Yeah, don't judge other people. As long as they're happy with what they're doing, then that's fine, even if it seems a little odd to you maybe. How to not be dependent in a relationship. I don't want to make the same mistakes again. I really like this question because I think it's really easy, especially I think a little bit more for women, when we get into serious relationships, to become really dependent on those and to kind of lose ourselves. I think women are more prone to adapting. Obviously that's generalizing, but I think this question is really important because I think that's also why relationships, or a lot of relationships, end up failing if you become too dependent on them and start losing yourself, and if you stop looking after your own interests and stop taking care of yourself. And I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to film down here with my dogs, because they're driving me insane. Okay, how not to be dependent in a relationship. I definitely have been before as well, and I think, or I hope, that I've learned from that and will not make the same mistakes again. I would say that it's all about taking enough time out for yourself, actually doing things by yourself without your partner, doing things with friends and or family without your partner being there, having hobbies and things that are just for you. Obviously it's super great if you can share hobbies, interests, or even work with your partner, but I think for myself, I would always want to have a couple of things that are just sort of my thing, and I would still want to have my world. I also think it's a lot about just not forgetting that this is your journey, and I would say things probably change a little bit once you, or if you start a family with someone, because then you're really going on this journey together. And obviously you're also doing that if you're just in a long-term relationship. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that, especially I think if you're in your early 20s, like I am, it's really important not to forget that this is your life, and your journey and things can change really quickly, and obviously you don't want to be thinking about a breakup when you're getting into a relationship, but just try not to forget that this whole experience, life, is really about you. Maybe some people disagree, but that's my belief on that, and I think if you remind yourself of that constantly, that can also help with not like losing yourself and becoming too dependent. But yeah, really just trying to also do your own thing. Being apart from a partner can be really, really healthy, I think. Going on holidays with friends without your partner, like all that stuff, I think is really important. How to get in touch with your sexuality. I feel like I have a block. Also really like this question. I honestly just want to say that I think it's super normal to go through phases where you feel more or less sexual and more or less in touch with your sexuality. I think that's completely fine. And I think there are phases where, at least for me, I'm just not that, like, I'm just not feeling it, which I don't have a lot of those phases. But when you do have those, I think it's important to just not push yourself. And I actually think the more you like think about it and think, oh my god, I need to get in touch with my sexuality, the less it's probably gonna work. Like, I would say just let it flow and it will probably come back to you. But if you're having a longer block, on the one hand, I would say that maybe you should think about what could be causing that. I think for a lot of people it's stress, and just being so like busy and caught up in everything else that you don't really have time to be in touch with your sexuality, and your mind doesn't even have the space to feel sexual, if that makes sense. So I think it's worth thinking about like the cause of the problem and addressing that first, but also just taking time out to really be with yourself and your body, taking time out to relax, maybe doing yoga, meditation, just really listening to yourself. Obviously masturbating and taking time out to just, like, as I said, be with your own body is really important. And this is where my sponsor comes in, which I love, Cheeks. You guys probably already know them from my last video, and I'm super, super happy that they wanted to sponsor this video again, because I think what they're doing is amazing. Cheeks is a sexual wellness platform, and their main goal is to create a safe space for sexual content and for people who want to explore their sexuality or sexual preferences. They have 3 main categories that are watch, listen, and learn. So they've got video, film content, they have audio content, and then also articles and things like that that you can learn from. There's no ads or any annoying banners on the website, which I really like. And most importantly, their focus is really on creating ethical and diverse content. Obviously, with a lot of traditional porn, it's not very representative of actual sex, and I just find it really refreshing to have a space where you can consume sexual content or pornography. And I don't think porn should have to have that like dirty aftertaste, because basically everyone consumes it, and I think at this part it's just a part of our society. But I do think it's a lot better to be consuming content that is made ethically, where you know everyone who's involved actually wants to be there, there are no minors involved, and it's diverse and actually more representative of actual sex. So that's kind of what their main thing is. Okay, now I'm looking at my phone because I don't want to get the prices wrong. So their subscription you can get for €8.90 a month if you want to do a monthly subscription, or you can get a yearly subscription and then you only pay €6.90. I do have a code for you guys, which is just Maxi, and you can try Cheeks for 14 days completely free of charge. If you don't like it, you can cancel at any time. You're not going to be charged. Also, once you do pay for the subscription, you can also cancel at any time. It's not a lock-in contract. And just a little note, the 14-day trial period that you can get with my code is only available for the yearly subscription. But as I said before, you can try it for 14 days. If you don't like it, you can opt out before you pay for the yearly subscription. So give it a try, especially maybe if you are someone who is feeling out of touch with their sexuality and isn't really feeling like their best sexual self. I think Cheeks can be a really great platform to just explore things and again, depending on your preference, you can watch videos, you can listen to audios, you can just start by reading articles, and maybe it will spark something within you and bring back that sense of sexuality and sense of feeling like a sexual being. Do you think finding other people attractive while you're in a relationship is okay? Yes, it's not just okay, it's normal. It's just something that happens. At least in my opinion, I've never met anyone who is in a relationship and doesn't find other people attractive. It's in our nature to find other people attractive, and that doesn't just switch off just because you're in a relationship. I do think that if you're in those really early stages of being super in love and like infatuated with the person, other people are kind of just not even visible to you. At least it's that way for me. Like if I'm really in love in the beginning, I just don't even see other people, but I can still obviously go and say Zac Efron is super attractive. But then I also think it's completely normal if you are in a relationship, no matter what stage, and you're walking down the street and you can go, that girl is really attractive, or that guy is really attractive, or that non-binary person is really attractive. There's nothing wrong with that, and I just think it's natural, like, and there's nothing you can do about it. I know that especially for people who are more on the insecure side, it can be annoying to think about the fact that your partner finds other people attractive, but that's just the way it is, and you just have to deal with it, and you just have to accept that they are with you for a reason. And also, people don't get into relationships just because of looks, or some people do, but I'm hoping that all of you guys who are in a relationship aren't in relationships purely for those reasons. So really, if your partner finds someone else attractive, I think it doesn't really have anything to do with you or the relationship. I would probably myself be more concerned if my partner found someone else like really, really funny, or found someone a lot more caring than I am, or a lot more intelligent, but even then, they're still choosing to be with you for a reason. But yeah, I think finding other people attractive, it's just nothing to worry about. And obviously, being loyal to someone, I think, is also not about not feeling attraction to anyone else, but it's about maybe feeling attraction to someone else sometimes and not acting on that, obviously. I think it's a lot about choosing what you're doing, and you're not cheating on someone by finding someone else attractive, or even by fantasizing about someone else, but it's about not acting on those feelings, in my opinion. Favorite first date idea? I'm honestly a really simple girl. Obviously dinners are nice, but I usually don't feel like eating on first dates because I'm excited, and when I'm excited, my appetite goes away, and then eating just isn't fun. And I also feel like it's kind of difficult to hold a conversation when both of you are eating. I don't know if that's just me. I would just want to go and get a drink somewhere, like a nice wine bar outside, where there's other people around, just have a couple glasses of wine, have a chat, get to know each other. That's it for me. I don't really want to be doing any activities on my first date. A lot of people like cooking, but I just think it's really awkward when you're preoccupied with something and then are trying to have a conversation. Like, I really prefer just sitting down and being able to hold eye contact with someone, really pay attention to like the way they're behaving. And I don't know, I think maybe for some people that's too intense, and I've met people who like cooking, for example, because you're doing something else and it's not so nerve-wracking, but for me it actually makes it more like annoying and just awkward. Like, I'd rather just sit in front of you with a glass of wine. If you don't drink alcohol, it could be anything else, but yeah, that's my first date, like perfect idea of it. Pretty simple. Do you believe that for some people the saying once a cheater always a cheater is true? In general, I don't think that saying applies to everyone. I do think there are people who cheat once and deeply regret it and learn from that. I also think life is so long and people make mistakes, people are flawed, and I don't think there are really any excuses for cheating. But like, as I'm getting older, I've never cheated on anyone, and I hope I never will, and I don't see myself doing that. But as you get older, I think, and kind of hear more and more people's stories and what they've been through, it just, I feel like, becomes apparent that life is so much more complex than saying everyone who cheats is evil and always stays a cheater. I just don't think that's the case. Molly agrees. I do think there are some people who aren't remorseful about it and are probably always gonna cheat, but I think it really depends. I think it's a really interesting subject, and I think it's really interesting to think about what drives a person to cheat, because I used to say, and I still believe this to some extent, that if you're in a relationship and you are cheating on your partner, obviously you're not happy in the relationship, so why not just end the relationship and then sleep with someone else? But I guess it's easier said than done. I don't know, I still kind of agree with that though. But then I guess if you're in the situation, there are so many factors, and I don't know, it's a difficult subject. But I do think people can cheat once and never do it again. I also think people can cheat and cheat again and again for the rest of their lives. Like, I think it just depends. What to do if a friend with benefits treats you poorly? I got a lot of questions about sorry, friends with benefits, if I've ever had one, if I believe in the concept. I do have experience with being friends with benefits with someone, but I think it can be a really tricky situation. I think a lot of people who say they are friends with benefits with someone actually do care about that person a little bit more than they should. The thing is, if you like someone enough to spend a lot of time with them and also sleep with them, it's pretty likely that you're going to develop feelings for them. I think that's just kind of how it works. So I think the key with being friends with benefits is to actually not spend that much time together. I think the focus should really just be on sex. And obviously you still have to treat each other with respect, and that's going back to this question. If your friends with benefits is treating you badly, then you're already in a bad situation and you should just stop seeing them, because the thing with friends with benefits is it shouldn't be complicated. You shouldn't have to worry about anything. It should just be about sex, mutual respect, and just like using each other basically, but with respect and without needing to worry about things that you sometimes have to worry about in a relationship or when dating someone. So yeah, I do think it can work, but I think it's really essential to set clear boundaries. Like, I wouldn't recommend cuddling for long, or having them stay over at your place or staying over at their place. I think those are like some things that can just like disturb those boundaries, and then it's really likely that at least one of the two people is gonna get feelings and then the other might not, and then one gets hurt. And I think that's why friends with benefits doesn't work a lot of the time. But I do think if you keep clear boundaries and just have sex, obviously maybe have a chat beforehand, talk a bit after, but just have good sex and then say, okay, bye, see you soon. Like, I think that should be it, and then it can work. But again, if you're cuddling and like watching movies and going out to dinner and stuff, then you're basically dating without saying that you are, and maybe without feelings. But I think the feelings will come, if that makes sense. So that's my view on friends with benefits. I think it can work, I think it can be fun, but I also think a lot of people saying they're doing it aren't actually doing it, and they're just fooling themselves. I guess it's more about being acquaintances with benefits, maybe, rather than being actual friends. Yeah, I think the term should be changed. Okay guys, that's all the questions that I'm gonna answer for today. My coffee's done. I'm getting super hungry, but I hope you guys, can you tell that I'm getting like a little bit shaky because I need food? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to check out Cheeks. I am going to be vlogging again, I promise, and I'm gonna give you guys the vlogs. I hope you're looking forward to them. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you very soon. Bye.